let's begin with the deck profile. So for the starters of MathMech, typically it's just basically a Cyberverse Synchro Xyz deck. So I play 3 copies of Bounce Lord to really get that vibe. It's just basic. Okay, so what Bounce Lord does, if anyone who doesn't know what Bounce Lord, if anyone's trying to get into MathMech, this is your primary starter. He has 2 effects that are really good. One is a soft return, which is the one on field. You can pay 1,000 life points to get additional normal summon for a Cyberverse monster. So that's really good because you can normal summon this, pay 1,000, get additional normal summon, link them off for your main starter, and keep doing that. It just allows you to get more bodies on board because the deck is somewhat normal summon reliant. But it has a lot of extenders to special summon if you don't draw those extenders. And then the second effect, if it's banned from the graveyard, you can special summon level 4 Cyberverse monster from the hand. This is going to come up very often because you have a card in the extra deck, that really boosts this effect. And I also have some searchers that can trigger this effect as well. Moving on to the next extender this is more of a starter and extender, the MathMech Sigma. Sigma has, while you control a monster in the extra deck monster zone, you can special this card from the hand or grave, but banishment leaves the field. And that's about it, his effect. You lock yourself in the Cyberverse once you activate this effect, and typically I'll tell you. But also, its last effect is a continuous one, but if it was used for a sinker, it's going to be used for a sinker, so it can treat itself as a non-tuner. So sometimes that actually comes up. Because you'll put a lot of tuners on board, and then you have Sigma, you're like, okay, I have a non-tuner, and good, so I don't have to Xyz summon. Okay. Next, another starter. Firewall Guardian. I only play 1 copy of this just because I would play 2 copies, but I'm running out of room in the deck and I kind of don't want to take out any more cards. So what this one does is just nothing on summon, but when it's sent to the graveyard for a link material, it can special summon itself back to the field, but banish that leaves the field. So typically this is your 1 card link 2, so you just normal summon link 1, special summon link 2, or link 1 again, or link 2. So it just allows you to put your bodies and start up your combo. Next, for the MathMechs is MathMech Nabla. This is typically you're going to be using this OTK and extend just because it has the effect to tribute a Cyberverse monster to special a MathMech monster from the deck. And if it's sent to the graveyard, it allows you to target a Cyberverse monster in the extra deck monster zone, and it can attack twice. It can attack 2 monsters that turn. This is typically a really good one, but you want to be special summoning this monster from the deck through actually adding it and searching it with Bounce Lord. I'll kind of show the combo off to kind of get that sense of how the deck works. But typically you're going to need this because this is if anyone's actually trying to fight MathMech, this is your choke point. You want to hit this card to stop them from special summoning like Division or Diameter from the deck. Next, your extenders. 3 copies of MathMech Attraction and 3 copies of MathMech Condition. These are both exactly the same thing, but do one thing different. They both have the same effect. Target 1 monster on the field, special summon this card, and then that monster loses 1,000 attack or gains 1,000 attack. Addition gains the attack, and subtraction loses the attack. So the monster you target will get that attack boost or decrease. And then when you activate this effect, you lock yourself in the Cyberverse. So typically you can tell that this deck can't really play a lot of engines in it, so it's kind of a pure deck in itself, or you have to combine it with Cyberverse monsters to really get those effects. So you could technically put in like Salomon Grades or like a Code Talker engine, along with maybe even like Marincess or something like that, to really get these combos. Because typically the attribute is fire and dark monsters, and I guess Bounce Lord counts as a light, but typically it's fire and dark, and Sigma fire, dark, light. I guess that's typically the 3 main attributes. So Rivalry of Warlord, not Rivalry of Warlord, Goes in match will actually hurt you pretty bad. So Spell and Shot, and that's why I said Floodgates are going to hurt a lot. Next, 2 copies of Multiplication along with 2 copies of Diameter. So Multiplication is typically your go-to, is your last card in the combo that allows you to really push for your boss monster because he targets any monster and doubles their level. So you make a 4 to an 8 and you kind of get that extender. But also has the effect, if it's sent to the graveyard, target Cyberverse monster in the extra monster zone, its yeah, its attack is double that turn. Then Diameter has an interesting effect, which allows you to, on normal summon, revive a Cyberse monster, or level 4 or lower Cyberse monster. It cannot activate its effect that turn. When this card is sent to the graveyard, or overlaid as, or used for XYZ or synchro material, it gains the effect. Once per turn, when it, what's the exact wording? Once per turn, during the turn this card was special summoned. Remember, that monster is gaining this effect. Yeah. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, negate the activation. You can only use this effect of MathMech Diameter once per turn. So typically this is going to be your monster to stop from being Nibiru'd, because that deck, that card kind of hurts your deck a lot. But this is just a built-in negation. But remember, it only does it for the monster that was summoned that turn. So you have to really set up your combo to XZ summon or synchro summon on your opponent's turn to get that negation. But overall, it's just a really good extender. Honestly, can we get more MathMech support? You get like Dragon Maids and Generators, so much support, and you get MathMech 1 support. Alright, next for the one of is MathMech Division. This one's more of a brick overall, but it's really good and it's really crucial for the deck. So its first effect, tribute 1 Cyberse monster in the X-Check monster zone. Special summon a Cyberse monster from your hand and graveyard. Its second effect is when sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster on the field, half its attack. So overall, this is just like your Guardian in your deck. You don't want to see this card in your hand, but you want to be special summon this card off of Nabla or any monster that just allows you to put cards onto the field, because of the fact that it can just half monster's attack, so you can push more damage. And moving on to the Cyberse generic support, I play 3 copies of Parallel XZs. This is just overall a really, really good card for its ability to just special summon itself, become level 4, and then I can use those as extenders because they're Cyberse monsters. And then Co-Generator. Co-Generator just allows me a link summon to use more extenders, but also when it's link summon while in the hand, it sends a monster to the graveyard, and I can use I can use that to really extend or even just put monsters into the graveyard for next turn, just set up next turn plays. And lastly, Ron Claudia. This is just another recovery play, which on normal summon allows you to add target Cyberse monster, add it to your hand, or from the graveyard back to your hand. And then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Cyberse monster from the deck, which is somewhat good. It does come up often. Typically I like to, if I'm being destroyed, I'm just going to normal summon, crash, and then special summon a monster that I need at the time. So honestly, not bad. So that's all the monster lineup. Moving on to the spells. So I kind of got this backwards. Alright, so right now I'm playing 1 Upstart Goblin just because I need to see those combo extenders, and I'm typically doing enough, I'm doing over 9,000 points of damage, so I don't care about their extra life point gain. Signet Mining, or Signet Backdoor. This, if you want to play Signet Mining, play this. I just use it for the Bouncer Lord encounter, because you can just normal summon this, pay 1,000, special, get additional normal summon, and then backdoor it, search for a monster with 1700 or less attack, and then Bouncer Lord's effect will trigger because he was banished by a card effect, or he was banished to special summon a monster. So typically you can just go normal summon Bouncer Lord, backdoor, banish, add Nabla, and then Bouncer Lord effect, special summon Nabla. It's overall just a really good effect. But what its actual effect, or what its effect is, target 1 Cyberse monster you control, banish it. If you do, add a Cyberse monster from the deck to the hand whose level is equal or whose level is lower than the card's, than that monster's original attack. During the next standby, your next standby phase, return that monster, so it just returns, not special summon, and that monster can attack directly that turn. You can only activate 1 Signet Backdoor per turn. Typically, if you want to search for Signet, if you want to play Signet Mining instead, go ahead. This is just for a little bit more of a kind of big brain, because I fight a lot of heroes, so I wanted to play this instead, because if I'm staring down a plasma, I need to normal summon this, pay 1,000, and then backdoor it, so its effect can resolve. So that's just me. That's just my matchups. I don't know if you're fighting heroes constantly. So next, another extenders. Sign optimization. This is literally a double summon, and that's all I use it for. It just allows me to normal summon during my main phase, in addition to my normals I set. It has a code talker effect, but I'm not playing like good code talkers. You could play extra code talker, but I'm cheap and I can't afford those cards. So if you can afford them, maybe play it. Maybe actually get the additional effect. Once I get some code talkers, maybe I'll read it. Next, MathMech Billion Blade Niagara. Yes, typically most people don't play the equip spell, but I do just because it has good potential when it's sent to the graveyard. It allows me to get recovery, and it also helps me push for a game. When it's equipped to a Cyberse monster and it battles an opponent's monster, it will send a Cyberse monster as cost to the graveyard to boost that monster's effect. And its second effect, if it's sent from the spell trap ground to the graveyard, you can target one MathMech card in your graveyard, add it back to your hand. This is overall really good. I like this card a lot, and most of the time most people only play one. I'm playing two just because I like the ability to send Division with the boost my final Sigma to 75 because I have it boosted by multiplication, and then it just does a surge amount of damage. Next, my monster Reborns. So equation, target a MathMech monster, special summon it against 1000 attack, and monster Reborn. Everyone knows what this does. And Rising Fire. This is another monster reborn, but also has another effect for its when it's just while it's set and destroyed while in your possession and destroyed. You can banish one monster, non-target. So overall, it's just some way to get rid of monsters that can't be targeted by card effect. Dragoon. But we don't have to talk about those. But also, it has a monster reborn effect. But you have to control no monsters and must revive a fire. Well, that's it for the spells. Moving on to the two traps I play is MathMech Superfactorial. This is simply a soul charge, revive up to 3 MathMech monsters, and then either synchro or XZs with them. XZs, they overlay on top of each other, and then XZ summon. Synchro, they shuffle themselves back in the deck, and special as a synchro monster treating itself as a synchro summon. So this is typically how you're get your diameter onto the field to do your plays. Moving on to the extra deck. I played 2 copies of Final Sigma. This is your boss monster. You will be summoning this 24/7, either turn 1 or turn 2. Depending what turn it is, you will be sitting on this unstoppable boy who can't be killed. While he's in the extra deck monster zone, he is unaffected by card effect, except by MathMech cards. Then, if he battles an opponent's monster, it does double damage. Or if it just battle opponent's monster or battle opponent's monster. Yeah, battles opponent's monster, double the damage. If it's destroyed while it's in your possession and sent to the graveyard, you can add a MathMech card from the hand. So typically, if you get outed by Boral Sword, you can search for a card. It's overall really good. Next, the redhead stepchild, MathMech, Yugioh MathMech Magma. This one you typically don't summon often. You typically summon this if you already have this on and you're just trying to flex. So what he does is essentially when he destroys a monster by battle, he can target 2 card, pop it. If he's destroyed and sent it, destroyed by opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard while it's in your possession, add a MathMech spell or trap. So typically you're going to add equation. Now for the XZ's monsters, I play 1 copy of Firewall XZ's Dragon. This is typically for its ability to revive level rank 4 Cyberses, just because I do toolbox with my extra deck. Next, to Laplacian. I'm going to butcher these names just because they're hard to say. This one is your Trish of the deck. So on summon, you can detach up to 3 materials to either do one of each effect. Send a card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, send a monster to the graveyard, and send a spell or trap to the graveyard. You can activate all 3 at the same time, but you can't activate more than 1. So you can't just detach 3, rip 3 cards out of your opponent's hand. So if you have the extendability, like with opening Parallel Z's, you can technically rip a card out of your opponent's hand on your turn when you're going first, and then next turn, special summon this, a second one, and then rip another card. You also have the effect to detach to protect, but typically you're not going to get that effect because you'll be ripping cards out of the hand, because typically I wait when they normal summon, they play a trap or something, or they play a spell, and then they have 2 cards in hand, they just go activate that, rip a card out of their hand, send the monster, then send the spell or trap to cause massive amount of damage, but overall, that's the dream. Most of the time, you're just going to be ripping a monster and a card out of their hand. That's still really good damage, just allows them to not kill you. Next, Albert, this is your starter extender as well as extender. So what he does is, typically he does a lot of things. This was actually a very, this is the most expensive card of the deck. I had more copies and I would play 2, but I found a way around playing 1. So what he does, he acquires 2 level 4s onto, or 2 level 4s to make, and you can use more, so you can, but he has 2 effects. So the first one is you can tribute yourself to special summon a Cybers from the hand or grave, and his second effect, if he's on summon, he can detach up to how many materials he has, and depending on how many materials you detach, gains the effect. 2, add a MathMech card. 3, add a level 4 lower monster. 4, add a spell or trap from your deck or your hand. This is the most powerful searcher in the game because he can search over 7,000 cards, but this is typically your best bet. I don't know what to say here. Okay, moving on to the Link monsters. I play 1 copy of Crusadia, or Mech Knight Crusadia Abramax. This is just another toolboxing variant for if I can't make monsters, I'll make this to go into either Firewall Xyz Dragon, just to push more damage onto the field, or just to flex and show them, hey, look, I can make these monsters. Auroradon, I don't know why he is here. This is a terrible card. Typically, I believe this is a placeholder for something. I can't remember why I put this in here. You cannot make this monster. Put something else in. I would suggest any level 4 Cybers monster, any extender Cybers monster. I would probably say put in another Cyber Wicked instead of this because this is just garbage. But that's about it about the Auroradon. Splash Mage, he's your extender. He just allows you to revive Cybers monsters. Wicked, this is the one I'm talking about to do the combos where it allows you to actually get your ability, or actually get the bounce over effect on turn 1. Code Talker Inverted, this is for your code generator to allow you to special monsters in the hand, but also dump monsters. Then the standard combo that you always go into, Link Devotee and Link Disciple. And then lastly, your boy, Link Karibo. And that's about it for the deck. I will show you one combo. Just get the feel of the standard plays. But overall, that's about it. Alright, let's do a test hand. We're probably going to do 2 test hands or even just 1 because this video is getting rather long and lengthy. So, let's start off with the hand. So, Monster Reborn. I just power shuffled this, so I might actually just brick here. Backdoor. Bounce Lord. Actually, that's not bad. Division, and last card, Subtraction. I have full combo. So, standard combo, what you're going to do is, this is the standard combo if you open Bounce Lord. Normal summon Bounce Lord, activate his effect, pay 1,000, get additional normal summon. Link him off for Link Devotee. Then you either normal summon a monster, or you can just use your you can just use your extender, so Subtraction, target Disciple to lower his attack special summon. You're locked in Cybers monsters. Now you link him off to make a Link Devotee. Now you activate Disciple effect, Tribute Devotee to draw 1 card and then place 1 at the bottom of your deck. So, Sigma, I'll grab that and put Division back. Actually, yeah, we'll put Division back in the deck and put it at the bottom. And so, now Devotee's effect will trigger summoning 2 tokens. I don't have tokens on me, so I'm going to grab these sleeves to represent tokens. They are Cybers level 1, and you can, on summon, when Devotee is summoned, you're locked into level 2 or link 2 or lower monsters from the action. You cannot link summon except level 2 or link 2 or lower monsters. So be careful on that. So you're locked out of your Abramax place. So you'll link one of the tokens along with Disciple into your Wicked. Then since it's level 1, you'll link this off for your Link Karibo. During Wicked's effect will trigger, allowing you to banish a monster from the graveyard, a Cybers monster, so you'll banish your bounce lord to search for a tuner. And so what you'll search for is your Nabla. And so with that, your now bounce lord effect will trigger special summoning out Nabla. You'll activate Nabla's effect, tributing the link Rebo to special summon out either Diameter or Division. I'm going to grab Diameter because for its ability to have a negation. And then you're going to link both of them off. For MathMech Albert, during on summon, you'll activate its effect, detaching 2 to search for a card. Typically, you have 2 routes. You can either grab your Division to keep going into more plays. I'm going to probably do that, or you can go and grab Super Factorial. Honestly, the best option would be Super Factorial because I have the Monster Reborn in my hand to do more combo. But also, since Wicked is a level, where is a level 4 or lower level? Can't speak. All right. Can I still do this combo? Special summon link. I have. Sorry, I just don't. I can't make Division, which I need to get Wicked off the field. But I have backdoor, so it doesn't really have to worry. Typically that's all I really need. So now just backdoor, banish this. She'll come back next standby. Grab Firewall Guardian because level 100. So now you have, and you still haven't used your additional normal summon to do your combos. Special summon out Final Sigma, Monster Reborn, bring back your Diameter, and then normal summon your Firewall Guardian, XZs all of them off. For Laplacian, I'm going to put this in attack position, and then detach Sigma to rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and now you have everything you need. Actually, I'm winning to detach Sigma. I would need Diameter to get that negation effect. So now you just rip the card out of your opponent's hand. On top of that, you now have a loop where you can just make it again to keep extending, but typically you're not going to extend any more out of that. You can and make Splash Mage and keep going, but that's just overextending at that point. So you would just set a card and pass, then during your standby, you flip this up, special summon out Diameter, Nabla, and Subtraction, XZs all 3 of them into, when they put a monster on board, rip, send a spell, monster, and a card out of their hand to the graveyard, and you now have just 3 monsters that can do where, and then standby, this will come back, which you could just link all of these off for a Avermax, and then activate, I don't know, just tribute this, special summon out Nabla. Effects are intact, so, and even this comes back, but there's already linked it off. Nabla tribute to grab a Division, or actually let's grab multiplication, because now you can just do this, overlay into Firewall XZs, activate Firewall XZs, and special summon this out. It's overall just a fun deck to play, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is typically, I kind of did not do the standard combo because what you're supposed to do is make Final Sigma. So, but I like to play a little bit more casually and not really competitively, especially with these type of decks. I do play a little bit more competitively with my Eldritch or even Ultra deck. So if you do want to see my updated Ultra deck, stay tuned because I'm going to be working on that once the new once the new Fusion comes out. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.